Hey everyone, Alex here. Today is a long overdue update. This is for the WGU Psychology degree. So my last video on this was about 15 months ago. And the reason this took me so long to update is because WGU basically said after 6 months and after 1 year, they were going to update this degree to have like more credits available, and just never really happened. So there is a little more available than there was, but there's only 39 credits you can transfer in to this degree program, which is a lot less than some of the other degrees. So I've just been waiting. I've been patiently waiting for this to be more, but I'm not sure we're ever actually going to get there. But still, this is not a 120 credit bachelor's degree. This is a bachelor's degree that only has 106 credits. So 39 credits, if you transfer all those in, and I would highly recommend you to transfer in all 39 of these, okay? If you do that, then it becomes much more obtainable to get this bachelor's degree in 6 months. So if you transfer in all 39 of those, you can absolutely do this bachelor's degree in 6 months, and definitely almost, in my opinion, as long as you're doing at least 5 hours a day in school, basically guaranteed in 2 terms, which is 1 year. But I do think if you're really hustling, you can do this in 6 months. Basically, transfer in those 39 credits and do the rest at WGU. It would be tough to do all of those in 1 term, but it's doable because no class in the psychology degree is like overly super difficult from what I've heard. Now, obviously, these are all subjective. Somebody might find something difficult and someone else might find it like not difficult. All these course difficulties are always subjective, and that's what makes it, hard to put labels on them. But overall, like compared to a big old tech project and the tech degrees and like a certification class and things like that, usually these courses are much more doable. You should be able to average anywhere from 5 days to 7 days per course. So we'll get into the spreadsheet. I've designed a whole new spreadsheet for this. I know you guys probably expected a lot more transferable classes. This would be less than the beta version I released over a year ago, but that was just a beta version. That was just me like, okay, WGU hasn't really released the psychology transfer list, so I'm going to come out with a beta version. So unfortunately, there is less courses to transfer in. But 39 out of 106 is still a lot. That's actually quite a lot. And if this saves you a term, it could save you $4,500, right? So if this saves you a term at WGU, which it would, this would save you at least 1 term, maybe 2, but it would definitely save you at least 1 term, which is $4,500 you save. So let's get into the spreadsheet. I'm going to show you guys what courses you can transfer in. And I would also like to go over the psychology curriculum as well. So I'll go over on the WGU website, and we'll go over the psychology curriculum and exactly what courses you will do at the school itself. All right, guys, here we are in the spreadsheet. The WGU Psychology degree. You have 10% off study.com up here, which I would highly recommend you guys use because you will be taking some study.com courses. And this is the largest discount currently available online. I'm always up to date with the discounts. Here we go with English. You're going to take at study.com. Study.com is the easiest platform for English. Okay, I have dabbled in all of them, and study.com definitely has the easiest one. So definitely take it there, in my opinion, although they will accept all 3 platforms or even more platforms. There's a lot of ACE credit platforms. We just go by the big 3 usually. But overall, English 104 probably take you 7 or 8 days if you're hustling because there is writing assignments here. Anything with writing, especially English, because there's a lot of writing assignments in English. This one will take you a little bit. Communications 101, very easy course, 3-4 days. I love communication style courses, so you might want to slow down and enjoy this one if you want. But if you're in a rush, then go ahead and try to speed through it. History 103. As much as I like history sometimes, I'd rather just speed through this class. You should be able to get through this like 2 or 3 days if you're hustling. This is not taking into account like pending final grade. Like when you turn in your final assignment, that's kind of like what I'm talking about. And then not counting the pending time, like however long they take to grade it. English 2 probably take you about the same time as English 1. I'd probably put it around 7 to 9 days. Intro to Psychology, very fun course. This is a fun course anywhere. It's fun on study.com as well. So I'd say 4 days probably if you're hustling, maybe 5. And then you got Humanities 201. This one actually does take like 6 days, maybe 7 at most. And it's got a big writing assignment. That's why it takes a little longer. Stats. So stats, math is subjective for everybody. Somebody might do this course in 4 days. Somebody might do this course in 11 days. It just really depends. I think you can get it done in, like I said, 5 days or so if you're hustling and just like working on this class, 5 to 6 hours a day. So Psychology 107, you can actually transfer in human growth and development psychology from study.com into this as well. I picked 107 because they do accept 2 courses for this. WGU accepts 2 different study.com courses for this class. I just thought Psychology 107 sounded a little more exciting, so I decided to go with that. And then you got Biology 101, and you do not need the lab version. So you can just take the regular Intro to Biology here, and that'll transfer in. And that'll be all these study.com courses you would transfer in right there. And then there's 4 Sophia courses, and 3 of these are Sophia exclusives. Basically, you can only transfer them in from Sophia and nowhere else. So Visual Communications is one of those courses. It'll transfer in as Influential Communication through Visual Design and Storytelling. WGU, why do you make your course length so long? Like, I love WGU. It's like my favorite school. Even though I graduated from TESU, I am going back to WGU to do a master's degree because I never actually finished a degree there. But overall, I love WGU. It's like my favorite school, my favorite course model. I love everything about the school. However, WGU, if I'm going to nitpick a little bit here, why in the world is your course length that long? That makes no sense. But nitpicking over, Introduction to Sociology from Sophia would transfer in as Introduction to Sociology. And then this is a new course at Sophia, Introduction to Criminal Justice. I believe this is brand new or within the past month or 2. And this will transfer in as Introduction to Physical and Human Geography at WGU. And some people ask me, like, that's geography. Why would criminal justice transfer into that? It's like WGU for their general ed, it doesn't matter if something is titled like geography or science or whatever. They'll accept a wide array of general education type courses to satisfy it. It doesn't have to be a geography class. So in WGU, they publish this information themselves. I'm not pulling your leg. This is all verified. This spreadsheet will transfer in exactly how I have stated it. So this will 100% transfer in as I have stated it, unless they change something after this video. So Anatomy and Physiology 1. So this class you can actually do on all 3 of the platforms. You can do it at Sophia, Straighterline, or Study.com. However, I recommend this one at Sophia because the lab is not required. And on Study.com, the lab would be required for this course. So you avoid the lab if you take it at Sophia. As for Straighterline, I'm actually not sure if you need the lab or not. I don't think you do. So if you want to take it at Straighterline, you could take it over there as well and avoid the lab, I think. But Straighterline is, if you're going to take just one course at Straighterline, it's a little expensive. It's $99 a month and then like $80 for a course. So you're paying $180 just for one course. I do recommend a lot of math on Straighterline because you can get courses done a little easier and faster there. But outside of math, it becomes a little hard to recommend sometimes. Whereas Sophia, you're just paying one Sophia or Study.com, you're just paying $100 a month for like general ed courses. And you can get courses done like really, really fast and no limitations basically. So Straighterline is more of like a unique use case for the most part. So now you have your 39 credits that you transferred in, and you could track them up here, basically. I might eventually add the WG courses to the spreadsheet. I just did not have time to add them in, because usually I add all the WGU courses right here. So maybe I'll add that in the future, and I apologize for not adding that in. You can track all the ACE credit courses, which will put your transfer credits here at 39, and then you'll have more to complete at the school. So I'm going to get into the psychology curriculum. We're going to go to the WGU page right now. All right, guys, we are in the WGU psychology course page. And we're not going to go over the courses we transferred in, right? So we transferred in this. A lot of these we already transferred in. So health we did not transfer in, and that course shouldn't take you too long at WGU, a few days probably. So we transferred on all these. Basically almost this whole list right here we have transferred in. So Introduction to Research Methods is a course you will do at WGU, and that should be very valuable as a psychologist or whatever job you want to do in the psychology field. You do need to get really good at research, like really proper, formal research. Learning strategies in higher education sounds like a filler class. Some people get mad when I call things a filler class. Look, if you think every college class is important, that's just not accurate. Many colleges come up with filler classes just to fill out their degree because they've ran out of courses to put in the degree. Consumer behavior, important class. Social psychology, important class. So these sound like two important and fun classes. Like I said, if I had time, I do not have anywhere close to the time. But if I had the time to actually do this degree from a fun perspective, and it was free, because I'm not going to pay for another bachelor's degree unless it's like physics way later in my life. But if this was like free and I had a ton of spare time, I would love to do this degree. Like, I love psychology. Psychology is amazing. I think the human brain is like the most complex thing in the universe that we know of. I'm sure there's more complex things out there for sure that we haven't discovered, like other life forms, their brains and things like that. But as we know it right now, the human brain is like the most complex thing there is, besides the universe itself. So the human brain is just really, really fascinating. Health equity and social determinations of health. Adult psychology, very useful course here. In-depth study of adult development. The learner will explore and apply major theories of adult development. The learner will analyze how individual characteristics and experiences, factors. So that's a very useful course. Understanding substance abuse and addiction is a very useful course as well. If you're gonna be a therapist or psychologist, you're gonna have these types of clients and patients, right, where they used to have an addiction or an abuse. A lot of people will, use your services just because they have an addiction. So it's good to understand that. Cognitive psychology is one of the funnest courses in a psychology program, in my opinion. It really, really goes over the human brain. You got psychopathology here. Career and lifelong learning. Neuropsychology. So like I said, I love anything to do with the brain. So neuropsychology is pretty amazing here. The thing is, you can go to the graduate level. If you're going to do this degree, and I've said this in previous videos, if you're going to do a psychology degree and you're just not going to go to the graduate level, if your plan is a psychology bachelor's and you're going to stop, that's not a good idea, in my opinion. I ranked psychology as like a D tier major if you're going to stop at the bachelor's. If you go to the graduate level, this all of a sudden becomes like a B plus tier major. Never stop at the bachelor level for psychology. Okay. Now you can take a break, take like a year break if you want, but do not stop at the bachelor level. Now you can go to the graduate level and you could do a lot of different things. You can do a psychology master's, you can do a social work master's, and you can also do a neuroscience master's or PhD as well. That's probably what I would do. I really love neuroscience. This class should be a lot of fun, and it's basically like a preview of what it would be in a neuroscience type of graduate degree. Mental health awareness, important. Theories of personality is a very important class as well. Cultural awareness and ethics, psychology of learning, team dynamics, health psychology. So a lot of important courses. I actually think this is a really good psychology degree, like really good. The curriculum is really fantastic. So I do think you can get this done in one term. It's a fantastic curriculum. WGU really took their time putting this degree together. And almost every class is important. Like, there's not many filler classes in here. I would say this is a filler class, and that's almost it. Like, every other class is pretty important, I would say. So overall, a very good degree, highly recommended. And once again, I would highly recommend, if you're going to get a psychology degree, don't make your plan to stop at the bachelor's level. This is not a bachelor's level career, okay? This is a graduate level career. And some people don't like to hear that, and they'll refute me like, oh, there's these jobs at the bachelor level. Okay. How many people, what percentage have landed those bachelor degree jobs? Are you one of them? Okay. Like you can fight me and dispute me all you want. I am just giving you advice from what I have seen and from what I have researched. Okay. You guys can take it any way you want. I'm not a person on this channel that kind of like plays as a fence sitter and sugarcoats everything. A lot of YouTubers do that because they want maximum followers and they want to make everybody happy, happy, happy. I am giving you constructive criticism, and I am giving you my best advice, which is I do think you should go to the graduate level from all the hundreds of hours of research I've done on this. So go get a master's degree, go get a PhD. But in the meantime, enjoy your psychology degree. This looks like a really fun degree. One of the points of doing a psychology degree is you're going to have a lot of fun doing it. So one of my favorite degrees when it comes to like a fun perspective, and I do think like being a therapist would be pretty fun too, or being a psychologist. I think that would be a pretty fun job. I mean, sure, it's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows because you're going to have some, some definitely interesting clients and, some sad events, some sad stories, etc. So it can get probably a little depressing as well. But overall, psychology, communications, and like computer science / software engineering would be like my favorite degrees from like a fun perspective. So if you guys want to do psychology, it is the number 2. I think it's definitely top 5, but I think it's like number 2 or 3 most popular major in the country. Business administration, I think, is number 1. Psychology is number 1 for women, though. This is the number 1 most popular major in the country for women. So it's top 5 most popular, number 1 for women, and overall just a very, very popular degree and a fun degree. It's very fun, and you can make really good money if you go to the graduate level. And with the thing with the psychology degree is like a lot of these therapists and psychologists and stuff like that, a lot of them don't just get like one job. This type of career is more like you're gonna hustle and have side hustles. A lot of them do like apps like BetterHelp and Grow Therapy and things like that in addition to their main job, right? So a lot of them have side hustles with all these apps and stuff like that. So you make extra money on the side as well. You do like a few sessions a week with BetterHelp or Grow Therapy, and you make, extra hundreds of dollars on the side basically, or even extra thousands of dollars on the side. So once again, a lot of things you can do. Research yourself. I apologize if this video went on too long, but I wanted to give you guys as much information as I could. So anything that came to my brain, all my videos are unscripted, completely 100% unscripted, which some people are like, what? No way. But yes, all completely unscripted content, all from my head instantly. So I wanted to give you guys whatever came to my brain in real time, and that's why some of the videos go on a little long. So anyways, guys, I wish you the best of luck. Very fun degree, very fun career, psychology. I wish you guys the best of luck and get all those ACE credits transferred in. Also, lastly, guys, if you can please like, subscribe, or comment if I helped you in any way, I'd really appreciate it. When you do one of those 3 things, especially all 3, it sends to the YouTube algorithm, oh, this video was good, and then more people get recommended the video. That's kind of how the YouTube algorithm works. It's like a refer a friend type of system. Basically, if you like, comment, subscribe, then more people will see it, and YouTube thinks the video is good and thinks the video is useful. So if you think my video is useful, then please do one of those 3 things, preferably all 3. So in the ranking order basically is watch time. Number 1 is watch time. If you watch all the way through, that's the number 1 metric YouTube uses for algorithm boost. Number 2 is comment. Number 3 is subscribe. And number 4 is like. So all 4 are important, but that is the ranking of how the algorithm works. So if you guys can please do all of those things, I'd really appreciate it. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful week. And if you don't think subscribing to my channel would be useful, I have a lot of good stuff coming out for, the psychology degree, for WGU in general, for college in general. I have a lot of good stuff planned in the next couple months. So anyways, guys, please take care.